Hey travelers, welcome back to the channel. Now, today we're going to talk about the fact that you do not have to be retired military in order to use the military FamCamps. If you have a service-connected disability, you may already be eligible. Let's break it down. We're going to talk about who qualifies, what documents you need, and some other insider tips to make your stay more comfortable right after this. Now, the thing is, who currently that can use military FamCamps? A military retiree, active duty, guard or reserve with a valid ID, also a veteran with a service-connected disability, which is how we get on, or certain DoD civilians on different installations. Now, one of the things that you're going to have to understand as we talk about this, and you're going to hear me say this more than once, it depends on the facility. The base commander they make the decisions on who can and can't get off the base. This is a general idea of what's going on. It's supposed to get cold. We're in Charleston. If any of you are watching the forecast, anything like that, we got the snowpocalypse coming, so we had to go get some more propane and top off one of our tanks. So here's a little back history behind this. In 2019, the National Defense Authorization Act, specifically called the John McCain Act, was put into law. It was signed and put into effect January 1st of 2020. What this act did, among other things, especially for us in this area, it opened up FamCamps and a lot of the other facilities to veterans with service-connected disability. Those with certified ratings from 0 to up to 100%. Purple Heart recipients, former POWs, prisoners of war, and then family caregivers. And now in the family caregiver area, if you're a family caregiver, you've got access to it, but you need to make sure that you've got the right paperwork for it. And folks, if you don't have it, our gas stop valve, we love our gas stop. Make sure you use one. Great safety device to have. And that's all that. On top of that, it really helps out finding leaks. This little valve, once it pops on, I turn the tanks off when we ride. So if I turn both of the tanks off and get somewhere and the valve says 0, it tells me that something's left on somewhere. We've got a seep somewhere. Food for thought. All right, guys, there are going to be documents that's going to be required in order to get you onto the base and do this the right way. So this is the kind of the important part. If you are a veteran with a service-connected disability, and I'm going to put it up here somewhere, show you the card. You must have a VA disability card, and it must say, and it has to say, service connected on it. I've been through a couple of gates and they actually stop and look for that. So that's one of the things that you're going to need if you're not 100% or if you're not a retiree. Now retirees, they get to do things a little bit different because they've earned the right to do that. So the other thing that you're going to need a valid photo ID, like a driver's license or a real ID, the ones that's got the star in it. You can look that up and figure that out on your own. And then also, as you come through the gate, I haven't been asked for it yet, but you're going to need your vehicle registration, proof of insurance, probably the registration for the RV, things like that. This is where things get different. Actually accessing the base itself. Now, if you have a, and we're going to keep this specific to the service-connected disability side of things, but if you are trying to access the base, the first thing that we recommend is that you would check the website, obviously. Like we said at the beginning of this thing, this is not a blanket rule. It doesn't apply to everybody, so you gotta check to make sure that it's available. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is call. We have found a lot of them don't have an online reservation system. You got to call anyway. So it's better to call, and the number one question that you're going to need to ask them is about your eligibility. They may have weapons, nukes, whatever is going on. You may or may not have access to that part of the base. So now, Here's the trick that Don and I have found and the few that we have been to. Unlike a retiree where we can go straight to the gate, if we're out traveling and we have reservations at one, we are going to have to go to the visitor center. So we have to make arrangements to get to that visitor center during the proper hours. Now, some of these visitor centers, you have to check on that separately. Some of them, they're not open on Sundays, or they may have restricted hours, 7 to like 3:30. We tried to go to one day to get our passes, and they closed at 3:30. We got there at 3:45. So be sure and check on that kind of thing, because I use Google Earth, and as you can see, our girl, our Montana, she is terribly big. I don't just fit into any parking lot. A couple of times we've had to pull into a parking lot and either drop the rig or take the Jeep. We're fortunate enough to have the Jeep, and go over to the visitor center, get our passes and get everything set up, and then get the rig and come through the appropriate gate. Speaking of gates, that's another thing that you need to check on. You need to check to make sure that you can get through the gate, or what gate is proper to come through. For instance, here at, we're at Joint Base Charleston right now, and I'll show you a short clip of the dash cam. We had to negotiate the Jersey barriers. And with this big old girl, that was a challenge getting through that gate. So keep that in mind. Google Earth is your friend to look ahead, try to kind of figure out what you got to do. Now, another little key that we've got, Donna doesn't have a service-connected disability, so she has to come to the visitor center, and I can sponsor her because she takes the Jeep and follows along separately. She has to have a background check, and I have to sponsor her to get on that way. Now, things to expect once you get at the fam camp. Most of them are a little bit cheaper. They're not necessarily the cheapest thing in the world. We've seen anywhere from $25 up to, golly, above 60. Fort Belvoir, we stayed up there, it was $60 a night up there. Most of the places, and I'll show you little shots from around here really well. This one's all paved, the sites are nice and level. It's full hookup at this particular one right here. It was full hookup up at Fort Belvoir and out at the Air Force Academy. But now down at Sigsbee, it's not full hookups down there. So you need to read that website and know what you're getting into and check their prices up front. Most of the time, they're generally quiet around here, and you're in with a bunch of veterans, and usually things are pretty safe. We like it here. A lot of time, length of stays may come into play. Sometimes they allow 14 days, 30 days. Sometimes they have special occasions. They can go longer than that. Really just depends on where you're at. All right, got a few little tips for you. And I'm gonna repeat some things that you've probably already heard. Call the fam camp directly. Don't depend on that website. They've usually got good information on the website, but it's better just to call. Ask about your eligibility up front. Again, not all bases are the same. Respect these base rules. Anybody that's got access, that's been on a fort or a base or a post or whatever you want to call it, whatever your branch of service called it. So play stupid games, win stupid prizes, just like anywhere else. All right, so we talked about it before. Be sure and plan ahead. We do have to go to the visitor center first to get clearance in. Now, the cool thing about it, and I didn't bring it up before, and I'm going to use, for instance, we were at Fort Belvoir. I signed in up there. Now that, for me signing in, not Donna, for my card up there, that makes my card good at that post for a year. Some of them are 2 years. We haven't run into that yet, so I'm told, but keep that in mind. Know the rules, and y'all know that things ebb and flow, so make sure that you check back and make sure that everything is still the same. Now, keep in mind that all fam camps are not created equal. Some are better than others, and you're just gonna have to get out there and figure it out. If you want a little tidbits on it, No Sticks, No Bricks did a really good video on it. Their favorites. They've traveled and done a whole bunch more than we have on the fam camp side of it. So they may have some tips in this video, and I'll link it down below or in here somewhere. If you have earned a service-connected disability, folks, you've earned the right to be able to use these benefits. Now, you just have to check ahead to make sure that it's available to you at that particular fort or post, wherever you want to stay at. Well, folks, if this video has helped you out, be sure and hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell, do all the things, as they say. But, hey, also, if you're a veteran, you're service connected, or If you are a retiree, got any tips, tricks, anything like that, we're all out here trying to do it together. Be sure to leave a comment below. Fill us in. This is just a top level kind of informative side of it. Somebody may have some insight that I don't know about. And if so, we'd love to hear from you. Till next time, we'll see you somewhere out on the road, folks.